My camera's slightly out of alignment, I do believe. But anyways, I'm quite talented, as you can see. I can speak like a dipshit. But anyways, this video covers the unboxing. It's a fresh unboxing. Ooh, I should have put the fresh label on the thumbnail. But anyways, this is a fresh unboxing for Achtung Cthulhu from Mödiphiüs. This is the starter set. It refers to it as a special issue, as all the Achtung Cthulhu second edition products have usually like a sticker or a faux sticker that's not actually really a sticker. That right here, that sits right here, that usually says Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, so forth. And for whatever reason, they decided that the starter set is a special volume. As you can see, turn off that light for a moment. You can read the back if you want. A little information down here for how many people and the age appropriateness of this. 2 to 7 players. Ages 14 and up. Because this involves 1934, early 1940s Germans. So here we go. Fun fact, I do know a bit of German. It's one of the few languages I actually spent some time learning. Actually, funny enough, I also know more Braille and sign language than German. I grew up surrounded by a lot of disabled people. So, put away the scary, scary knife. It's a very nice box, I do say so myself. It says it has a sticker on here for $40. I don't see any MSRP marked on the back side, but it does make perfect sense that it would be $40. That would be a typical price range for rounded up to the penny. That would be the typical price range for most starter sets, is between like $29 and $39.99. And of course that tore, so I'm gonna probably just toss that. But inside the lid there happens to be a nice little set of charts for the game master. And interestingly enough, they actually suggest using it as a game master screen to roll your dice into. So, hey, that's pretty cool. Standard nerd stuff around the outside edge of the box. This is a standard sized box for a starter set. Might actually be slightly thinner than most other boxes. This is a rather nice saddle staple book with the standard 2 staples. The artwork is actually quite nice on the cover. Good range of colors, still earthy tones and blues and greens mixed together. I believe this looks to be the adventure. Nice artwork, good choice of colors overall. I do like that very much. The text is nice and big. Among the Wolves mission. So I do take it that this is the adventure. And from what I can tell, roll the bones, this is a D20 system with D6s as their major secondary dice. The text seems to be quite clearly written out and sticks out quite well. Good choice of background with thick font to make it easy for people to quickly read it over. There's a nice little bullet point up here for mission goals. That's nice. This little section right there. I do like that very much. And then they have the little box outs for GM tips, which I do support heavily. The nice range of photos, no grid lines, but I would take it that the system really doesn't matter so much with exact footage. It's more of a orientation and rough distance kind of system. from what I can get. Good range of artwork throughout the entire book. There's not too many pages that are just walls of text, but at the same time there is also some nice artwork tossed in between and little borders. There's the advertisements in the back for the actual books for Achtung Cthulhu, as well as the Game Master Screen and the Collector's Edition, as well as Fallout, the role-playing game starter set, which happens to be, incidentally, the next one in the line of the books. So that's kind of nice. On the back side, there's basically just a little blurb explaining the system. Usually I prefer having, say, like tips or mechanical rules on the back side of the books. That way someone always can like go, oh, what do we roll for this and that, and they go to the back of the book and there it is. This is the basic rules book, and oh my goodness, that is thin as heck. So I'm taking it that this system is not a terribly chunky system for rules. So yet again, very nice text overall that sticks right out and says hi. Good choice of color, like a green book, where they had blue for the adventure. So that's a nice touch. If you're paying attention to details, well, so you can quickly pick up, hey, when you grab a book, it's green in border, it's players' rules and stuff, and then the blue borders for the Game Master, apparently. It explains skill tests and everything else. The concept of momentum, threats, fortune, action, conflict. There's still a good amount of artwork spread through the book, but also nice boxing and breaking up of text. Good use of bullet points throughout the book. That makes it really easy to quickly keep track of where you are as you are reading the book overall, which I do like very much. You have Star Trek Adventures here. Ooh, I believe that's the first edition. They have moved on to Star Trek Adventures 2nd edition recently. I don't know if I'm going to invest in that. Currently, all that stuff sells out pretty quickly on all websites and even on Amazon. Please note that I kind of find it weird that, considering the community of Star Trek being a community of fans that typically particularly the modern Star Trek fans, are particularly socialist and anti-capitalism. I am always fascinated by the fact that the socialists and anti-capitalists seem to have no control over their purchasing power. They have to like buy every single thing of a thing. And then sometimes they will tell you, hey, we want this thing, and they won't buy it at all, and they just will steal it. But at other times they will buy literally every trinket there is, down to the last thing. So it's just one of those weird things I've come across, like the traits of one group that's claimed, that's projected on, stated about the other, is the traits in which that group possesses. My personal theory on a lot of socialists and communists is that they like the idea of socialism and communism because they suffer from impulse control issues in purchasing, and they would much rather just have everything provided to them, and they don't have to spend money or energy trying to acquire it. The problem with that is with socialism and communism, eventually it always slides towards rationing eventually, because once you start giving things away to people who are not working in large quantities, people eventually stop doing work, and when people stop doing work, people then product and services no longer provided, then people are forced to work. And then also people are forced to work, they do the minimum amount of work, which then results in rationing because you only have so much material. You had to spread it out evenly, and that's the problem, you know. This is a character sheet. I'm rather surprised. I haven't ever played Achtung Cthulhu, but I'm always surprised by how minimalist this character sheet is. And then you flip it around on the backside, and you have a little section on spells right up here and talents. And you generally get a vibe that the 2D20 system is basically Mödiphiüs' alt version of the D&D 3.5 Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition system. However, whenever I've ever seen it, it's usually an interesting deviation in concept. They still have the 6 attributes, like D&D 5th edition and other past editions, and they have other stuff down here, but they reduce and increase some features depending on the system. So it's always a fascinating track of learning. So you have a nice variety of characters. You got 2 guys right off the bat, and then you have a nice lady who is a mechanic. A very nice non-frontline job. And then we have another guy. Another lady. And then we have a nurse here. And then we happen to have some quick reference sheets, which is really nice to have in your TTRPG system. It's always handy to have some nice character reference sheets for playing the system. And it appears that there's multiples of the same one. So there's a total of 3, 4, 5, 6 of the same character information reference sheets. So that's really nice. You can just hand this out to each player, and they can easily keep track of what they're going to be doing as players. We also happen to have tokens. If we are talking about tokens, pawns, and minis, tokens, in my personal opinion, are the superior option to all 3 of those. Tokens store very easily. They are very small. You can have custom art made for our tokens, like a POG machine. You can make your own. They are cheap. You can use them. You can make them from plastic or cardboard. Either way works. You can pack a lot of them into a small area. They're, as I said before, they store very easily. You can have a good variety of them. They can be double-sided, so they can have different characters on different sides for different situations, such as this. Different characters. So we have a very nice range of options. And then we have a pile of maps. There happens to be a total of 3 maps. Sometimes in these videos, I actually read the back of the box and list out how many of a thing, and I end up counting it out as we go, but sometimes we don't. I have the map upside down. We have a nice little village map, as well as a zoomed-in hold the line map. Black Sun camp map. Black Sun is an occult organization that the Nazis used in World War II. So we have a tunnels map. And then we have a pyramid map, which apparently has this large creature that's on top of a pyramid. And then in the very bottom of the box, we happen to have the standard dice that come with it. There's this large pocket right here that apparently has nothing in it that the dice happen to sit in. If I remember correctly, According to the image on the box, there's supposedly more information in the box, and it's a treated underside with more tips, charts for various weapons, weapon qualities, and what they grant to your weapons, as well as conflict momentum spends and resistance table. So you have that handy dandy section. So there you go. Overall, my feeling on this starter set is it's actually quite nice. It is rather densely packed. For $40 for what you get in it, that is on the slightly high side. Well, no, it's not. I think it's appropriately priced, actually. Thinking about it, you get three maps, you get some dice. The box is very high quality. You get some tokens with it. Tokens are awesome. You get some nice cheat sheets that are double-sided with different information on each side. You got more than enough to hand around to every player plus the game master. The character sheets are very to the point and don't have a whole lot of extra stuff cluttering all the different things all over. The basic rule, you have an actual basic rules book you can actually hand out to the players, and the players can study it. You can even leave it on the table for the players to read through it as you're playing the game. So they can easily go through it. And then you have the actual Game Master / adventure book, which is an entirely separate book. I do very much like having my adventure book and my Game Master book separate from the core rules book overall, which is in my book a absolute must. The only thing that's really missing from this is a mini Game Master screen. However, they put the little tooltips inside of the box lid, and they suggest that you can even use it like a mini Game Master screen where you roll your dice into, and you can use the device inside the box as a means of keeping track of various rules and mechanics. So that's a really smart move right there. Also, a really nice thing to point out to the Game Master that I never really thought of, just simply taking the box and sticking the lid like that. And I think of all kinds of things all the time, but that is a particularly clever use for the box. So overall, I do say if you are interested in Achtung Cthulhu, I think there is a quick start rules version of this. I know that there's a quick start rules booklet for the original Achtung Cthulhu. But anyways, this is a must buy if you're going to get into Achtung Cthulhu. I do say it's a fairly nice box. I would place this around it's almost 4 stars, The only thing that's lacking is no Game Master screen. It's very well organized. You got cheat sheets to hand out to all the players, plus potentially one for the Game Master. You have the box, which has rules and mechanics attached to the inside of the box, so the Game Master can always use it as a tray to roll dice into and reference rules. You have the basic rules core book that is separate from the adventure, which you can hand out to the players or keep yourself off so you can reference the rules as you're running them. You have the adventure, which is physically separate from all the other stuff, which is a really good thing. It's actually quite good, and it comes with tokens too. That's awesome, as well as some dice. So, yeah, 4 stars. The only thing that can really improve this is if they put in a Game Master, a cheap Game Master screen, and potentially maybe another set of dice or another character sheet or a blank character sheet, and included rules for basic character creation in that. That would have added a few more pages. They could have probably removed that white 8 filler cardboard in the bottom of the box in that case. But overall, that would have cranked it up to like 4.25 or 4.5, which is particularly one of the highest scores I have for any TTRPG system so far. Would be in the 4.75, and that was literally like Pathfinder 2nd Edition starter set, and a few other starter sets from like even Chaosium and stuff like that are up in that territory, because they literally come with not just cheat sheets and tons of handouts, but they literally also come with solo adventures for the game master to play through by themselves, so they can get the idea how that system operates. It's by playing it by them, by game mastering themselves through a mini adventure. But so this is definitely a 4-star. It could so easily be a 4.25 or even a 4.5 star. So I'm really interested in what is in this Fallout box right here for quality, and I should check out more of the Mödiphiüs starter sets. They don't have very many starter sets for their game systems, but they're always really interesting and cool. So there you go. If you enjoy this video, please leave a like on it and subscribe. And leave it in the comments below. I cover tons and tons of different TTRPG systems, such as Call of Cthulhu, Achtung Cthulhu. I touched on Star Frontiers, Starfinder. I got Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, 5th edition, first party, second party, third party stuff, the Mutant Epoch, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, Warhammer Fantasy Warhammer for Roleplay Soulbound, etc., etc., etc. If anything is, the value of this channel is basically I come across stuff, I show it off, and you find out about it, and then you see what it looks like, and okay, this is what I think of it, and you decide whether you want to buy it or not. So there you go. This is literally going to be the next book I'm going to flip through and show off in the next video. And then there's a whole bunch of shorts covering different spells, monsters, and items in various TTRPGs that are constantly coming up on the channel too. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful weekend, a magnificent month, and see you next time. Ciao.